I always introduce myself at the end of videos, but I'm Brandon McDonald in case you don't make it that far. Shooting long distance is probably the single practice that has given me better results and more confidence up close and on animals. Nothing forces you to stay in your shot better than knowing a bobble can send the arrow into the dirt or a tree 6 feet away from your target. On the long shot outdoor 3D events like the Total Archery Challenge and the Rinehart 100, you quickly go from foam animals that are 30 yards away to a full-size buffalo, dinosaur, or Sasquatch at over 150 yards. It's a challenging day made even harder if your max distance pin is set to 60. I wanted to see what the folks not using a slider scope were dealing with. Today, I go 80 yards past my last pin. I was surprised how accurate I could actually be. The tools I'm using are the 2019 Matthews VXR 31.5, set at 75 pounds with my 30-inch draw. Easton Axis match grade 300 spine, 4-fletched with AAE Max Stealths. A 125 grain target tip from Iron Will, as well as the sleeve. That is not a light arrow. 15-inch cutter stabilizer out front and an 8-inch ramrod out back. 3 ounces of weight out front, 12 out back. Black Gold Pro 5-pin slider sight that today is not going to move. And my Stand Perfex 3-finger thumb release. "80 yards. When you go past your last pin, wouldn't it be nice if there was some kind of measuring tool that measured in like 10-yard increments? I don't know, maybe from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yes, you see exactly what I'm talking about. Here's what you're going to do. You're not just guessing at the holdover. You're going to draw the bow. You're going to place your last pin on the target. You're then going to move your focus onto the dot above your last pin that is currently hovering on the target. You're going to make a mental note of where that dot is, and you are going to raise your scope until the last pin is now in the exact same place that your second to last pin was, and then execute your shot. "90 yards. Remember to draw level with the ground like you normally would to establish your proper anchor, and then start to move toward the target. Don't draw at the target or your anchor may be off and you may have problems, especially as we continue to move back. 100 yards. Once you pick a spot, even if you have to let down, do not take your eyes off of that spot in the distance. Refocus. That now becomes your target. Whatever foam animal was out at distance is no longer relevant. 110 yards. Stay in your shot. If you don't let the shot surprise you, it's going to go off course. This is one of the reasons I love shooting long distance. It forces you to execute properly because the consequences are huge and so obvious at this distance. 120 yards. Some of the spots you pick above the target can be vague shadows, and some can be as clear as the white spots on the black background of the matrix target. Just maintain focus on that spot. Remember, that is your new target. 130 yards. Work back up the ladder. Past 110 yards, the climb seemed to require more gapping. Instead of approximately 2 feet of rise, I started having to push it to 3 feet as I was hitting a little bit low. But past 120 yards with this pin set up, I was kind of guessing. "140 yards. My best group as well as my clearest target. A dark knuckle on a bend of the tree, a foot to the right of the center of the target, which was perfect for the slight breeze. Sometimes you just get lucky. And finally, 150 yards. The caribou target from Rinehart is designed to be shot at 20 yards to replicate a 60-yard shot on a real animal. So at 150 yards, that's the equivalent of shooting 450 yards on a real animal. Perfect. Maybe I won't take a 450-yard shot, but maybe a 400-yard shot just so I'm safe. You know, wind and they might move and stuff like that. Is everyone kind of clear? I was watching it back and I'm worried that maybe I was a little bit confusing. Essentially, if you've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 on your dial, your 60 is 60, your 50 becomes your 70. So what you're doing is you're moving this up. So this is the point, you're moving this up, and then you're going to shoot. So that becomes your 70. Your 80 becomes this guy here, becomes your 40. See, this is why I'm worried that it's getting confusing. I can draw a picture if you need, message me if you want a picture of what's happening, or just go into a field and start lobbing arrows at stuff, and you'll kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. I know I said in the beginning, but thank you for watching. I'm Brandon McDonald.